I often hear advice saying you need to give yourself permission to be yourself. That's when you truly will know who you are, and no one else can give that to you. But something always found interesting was that it feels like something is missing. Where do I practice? How do I actually give myself permission to be myself? What does it look like to give myself permission? Because you can't just say, oh, I give myself permission now. Great, now I can be myself. There's so much beyond that, and a practice that I've really found helpful in as a tool to get to a point where I have an idea of who I am, or I feel like I can give myself permission in moments to be myself, has been spending time alone. And I think alone time can be so lonely if we're not intentional. And especially for me, if I'm not intentional about um, like preparing before and making sure. First, I feel like there's 3 phases to my alone time that really make it helpful for me and make it a tool for me to understand how I actually want to exist in a space, or when I'm around other people. Alone time gives me a base understanding of who I naturally am and show up as in the world. It can be so confusing with so much going on around us to understand who we are, and I think alone time can be, if done intentionally, can be a great way to learn how to give ourselves permission to be ourselves. So I want to talk about the 3 phases that I kind of prep to have intentional alone time that will help me accomplish my goal of being able to be in a group setting and know if I'm just performing or if I'm being myself. Because sometimes I felt like I want to be myself in this situation and I have the intention, but I don't know exactly how to give myself that permission. So creating a base of time alone can give you the experience, and has given me the experience, of seeing who I actually am when I completely give myself permission to be exactly who I am. I say, I'm gonna love any part of you that shows up in this space. So that would be like phase 1, is the prep before and the mindset before is I'm gonna show up in this space, and I'm going to, this time that I've creating this space, this time alone, I'm gonna accept whoever I am as I show up. Really having, like, one day when I was going for some alone time, I had that thought of like, whoever I show up, because I wanted to get to know myself more, I'm gonna show up whoever I am, and whoever that is, I'm not gonna judge it. It's just gonna be there, and I'm just gonna be so open to whoever I show up as. And it was so freeing to have that intention in that space. And then I would say phase 2 in this like idea I'm constructing is to really carve out a specific activity or time, like you are actually hanging out with someone else, of like, at first it might be weird to just be like, give myself completely space to be myself, but going out into nature can feel so grounding and allow you, like, there can be different ways and activities, maybe starting by reading a book or listening to music while alone, and then going into, moments of just sitting there looking up at the sky, or like moving into more intentional or longer times to just see what parts of you show up, to get a better idea of who that base person is that you are when you're given complete permission to be you. So another like caveat I think to mention is it's so important to feel safe. I think when we go into nature, it's so reasonable to feel scared, like we don't know who's going to be there, we're kind of like away. So being intentional about feeling safe, I think, is important to be able to give ourselves permission to be free and show up as whoever we are in that moment. And then I think phase 3, after we've sat with ourselves and given ourselves permission, maybe done some activities to loosen us up or get us out of our head, can be really reflecting after and congratulating ourselves on like positive reinforcement, being like, I love you and I'm so thankful that you spent that time to get to know yourself and like really creating some gratitude for ourselves, that has been super helpful for me. And then planning the next time I do it to really say, I want to spend this time with you, kind of like with yourself. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to be able to give you that permission to show up as you have been in these private moments, out with your friends or with new people, even to get to that point where you feel like you can show up as yourself, even with new people that maybe it doesn't feel as safe around, but you can give yourself that permission and safety. And alone time can give me that, like, has given me that permission and safety. And I just want to share that with you. And I think upon closing, those are like the 3 kind of phases that I've reflected on as I've spent more time alone. And the other day I had and like, this is a method for giving ourselves permission. And the other day I had this moment where I was like about to like call my family or like my sister, and then I was like, wait, like, I actually want to spend just time in my own mind or like with myself. And that was a really beautiful moment for me to reflect on the power that these moments alone have given me, and the like how I like who I'm showing up as, and how I am like able to give myself permission in that moment to enjoy that time alone. And I do feel a better sense of like feeling like I am giving myself permission, or at least have a base of who I am going into other moments with people. So this has been like something that I really enjoy and I want to share. So I think I'll leave it there. But thanks for listening, and let me know if any of this resonated with you, or if you have a different way that you've been able to give yourself permission. As like an overthinking person, sometimes it can feel hard to practically do that without just like switching your mind or something. So if you have any practices for that, I'd love to hear them. Thank you.